Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile, and today I'll be showing you guys my barrier statues. So starting off with the barrier statue monsters, we have the 1 water, 1 earth, 1 fire, and then finally the 1 wind to make up the 4 elements of the Avatar universe. Then for the final monsters, we have the free Fossil Dyna. So of course I have a really low monster count here at only 7 because I don't want to clog with multiple monsters under Carve Demise. And then the reason why I do the ratio of the barrier statues where it's 1 of each element is for one, these 4 elements are the least represented in the meta right now, which is very light and dark heavy with Burning Abyss, PK Fire, Monarchs, and Cosmo. And then I do 1 of each because if I am able to set up multiple barrier statues on board with different elements, it provides the same lockdown as Fossil Dyna does to where no monsters of any attribute can be special summoned. So that's it for monsters. For spells, we have the triple card Demise for obvious reasons. Triple Pod Duality for obvious reasons. Then for other draw cards, we have the 1 Upstart and the 1 day apiece. It's just really important to be able to fan out your deck and try to get to the monsters you need, your protection cards, your other back row, so on and so forth. You really don't mind giving your opponent another card with 1 day apiece, for example, because again, it's gaining you another card and it's also stalling you for a turn. And then with Upstart Goblin, you don't mind giving him 1,000 because you're not doing that much damage anyway, and you're just looking to lock your opponent out of the game. Then we have the triple Moon Mirror Shield. Just makes it to where your barrier statues and your Fossil Dyna can't be destroyed by battle and can beat over anything in battle while it's equipped to them. And then if it does leave the field, get sent to the graveyard from the field, you pay 500 to either put it on top or bottom of the deck. So it is recyclable, which is really good. Then for 1 of spells, we have the 1 Book of Moon, 1 Raigeki, and then finally the 1 Sealed Void Kalkos. Book of Moon is here because it's just instant chainable answer to monsters. Even though you'd think it'd be bad against, say, the Cosmo matchup, for example, since their ships can be targeted, it's actually good with this deck because if you have a barrier statue or a Fossil Dyna on board, they obviously can't tag out from their pilots into their ships, and you can use Book of Moon to flip one of their pilots face down, which typically will have more attack than your Fossil Dyna or your barrier statue, so it gives you a bit of battle protection. The 1 Raigeki, of course, is here to get over your opponent's monsters, and the 1 Sealed Void Kalkos just gives your monsters an extra 500 to where you're getting more damage on board. And then if you do set up two barrier statues or 2 Fossil Dynas, it means that none of your monsters can be attacked with Sealed Void Kalkos' effect, which is just really, really good and can really shut down your opponent. So that's it for spells. For traps, we have the triple Dark Bribe. I played this over, say, Huge Revolution is over because it just negates a lot more cards that can be a problem for you. Whereas Huge Revolution is over only, say, negates like Twin Twister or Phantom Knight Breaksword or Pendulum Sorcerer, things like that. This can also negate troublesome cards like Monarch Stormforth and Cosmojo, which can easily get over your monsters. And you don't really mind giving your opponent a card similar to 1 day apiece if it means that you are protecting your barrier statues and just putting your opponent behind. Then we have the triple Powerful Rebirth. This makes it to where you're basically playing 10 monsters in the deck, since these can recycle or revive your monsters from the graveyard. It's really important that you keep a barrier statue or a Fossil Dyna on board at all times, and this makes it to where if your opponent gets over it and you have nothing on board, you can kind of fool them into thinking that they can overextend and go for your plays, and then on their turn you just play Powerful Rebirth and bring 1 of your statues or Fossil Dyna back. It's better than Call of the Haunted, simply because when this dies, the monster doesn't die, whereas with Call of the Haunted, the monster dies with it, so that's why I do play the free Powerful Rebirth. Then we have the free Safe Zone. Basically protects your monsters from just about anything. While this is attached to them, they can't be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, can't be destroyed by battle. They unfortunately can't attack directly, and then the downside, of course, is that if this leaves the field, the monster is destroyed and vice versa. That also can be a positive if, say, your opponent blind MSTs this or blind Twin Twisters it. You can chain this, target 1 of their monsters, and then when Safe Zone dies, the monster will die with it. So it is some spot removal in certain situations, but it's mostly here to just make your barrier statues and Fossil Dynas nearly indestructible. Then we have the triple Stormy Mirror Force for some battle protection. I did previously play Blazing Mirror Force because of the burn damage and make it to where you could win the game faster, but it's just not that good in this current meta. Storming is a lot better to get over floaters. Make sure that you're not letting your opponent get their graveyard effects off. Then for the Solemn Quartet, we have the triple Solemn Strike and the one Solemn Warning. It's just really good with Solemn Strike to be able to negate an effect from anywhere, and then occasionally be able to negate a spell summon as well if you don't have a Barrier Statue or Fossil Dine on board. And the one Solemn Warning is just really good for being able to negate just about any summon. Then for other ones, we have the one Bombus Trap Hole, one Compulse, and then finally the one Rain of Destruction. With Bottomless, it's just really good to be able to banish a big monster that's summoned on board with 1500 or more attack. Compulse, again, similar to Book of Moon, just instant, chainable, spot removal of a monster to keep your monsters on board. And then Rain of Destruction, similar usage, getting rid of a monster, also being able to burn your opponent, which means that you are able to win the game a little bit quicker. So that is it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 7 monsters, 14 spells, and 19 traps. I don't have an extra deck because literally the only time you're ever going to go in the extra deck, or you could ever go in the extra deck, is if your opponent has Skill Drain on board with you having multiple monsters, or if you have multiple monsters on board and their effects are negated by, say, like Fiendish Chain or something like that, but that's like a very, very rare instance. And also, not playing an extra deck can fool your opponent into thinking you're playing Monarchs, and because they're known for being #Brick City, they may let you go first if they win a die roll, which can definitely play to your favor. Then for the side deck, we have the 2 Banisher of the Radiance. It can just be an absolute blowout against Burning Abyss and PK Fire. I like this over, say, Macrocosmos because it is a monster you can protect with Safe Stone and Moon Mirror Shield, and it's also a monster that you can revive back with Powerful Rebirth. Then we have the 2 Archfiend Eccentric. This is basically a 4th and 5th MST for your deck to get over annoying back row. You can also use its second effect if you have a free normal summon to get rid of a monster, but you're mostly using it as an MST. Then we have the 2 Lecter Pendulum. This is here for the Magispector matchup, which obviously isn't very relevant right now, but it is a very troublesome matchup for you for the fact that their monsters, while on field, can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So you can just play Lecter in your Pendulum Zone, and that basically is a skill drain for all their monsters, making it to where you can more easily get over their monsters outside of battle. Then we have the triple MST for annoying back row. The 2 Dark Hole if we're going second, and we're going against a deck that can establish a good board against us. The free Mask of Restrict for the Monarch matchup, which can obviously be a very difficult matchup for you with things like Stormforth to get over your monsters. Then for the final side card, we have the 1 Soul Drain to go along with Banisher, just to be able to lock out all those grave effects, especially Farfa, which can be an annoying card to get over our monsters. So that is it for this updated deck profile for my Barrier Statue Stun deck. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll also leave a link in the description below to a video from Team Samurai X1's channel where he profiled a Barrier Statue deck from the Toronto Regional recently that actually went 6-2 and actually ended up topping the event, which just shows the power of Card Demise and how it can make these really old, irrelevant rogue decks actually be good again. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.